guys, welcome back to our kitchen. Enjoy the recipes. Hi guys, welcome back to another recipe here in our kitchen. Today I'm going to be doing up a Japanese steak and chicken and hibachi rice. This dinner was introduced to me by my daughter Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. We went down to Tennessee to visit her. She took us to this Japanese steak joint and it was amazing. The show was great, the food was great, everything. It was really good, and I thought to myself, boy, I'd like to make that at my house, and well, here I am doing it. I've made it a few times and it turned out pretty good, so I thought maybe we'd just make this a keeper. I'm going to do the rice, the fried rice, which is important part of this dinner because it kind of ties it all together. So basically what you're going to need is some jasmine rice. Shout out to my new daughter-in-law, Jasmine. You're going to need let's see what else. For the rice, you're going to need a bag of frozen peas and carrots. And I used about a half a bag of the corn so as to not to overpower it. And of course, you're going to need, I believe it's 2 eggs. I'll have to double check on that. And soy sauce, of course. And then for the steak and chicken, you got to have your chicken and your steak. You're going to need soy sauce again, salt and pepper, butter, and I use just a little bit of ginger. And what I do is I cut up my meat in little chunks, and I like to marinate it for maybe an hour or two before we eat, just so it can get some of that, Asian flavor going in it. And then you put it on your trusty grill. Y'all should have one by now. If you don't, why not? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut my meat up and put it in the sauce and let it start marinating. So, hang on. All right, I've got my steak, and I'm using at this point. It's a sirloin steak. It's about 1 inch thick, 3 of them, and some, where are you? There you are, chicken, just a chicken breast, and it's all cut up. I'll cut it up into cubes, and basically you try to keep everything as symmetrical as you can. That way they'll cook evenly. In other words, you won't have one done before the other. So if you have a small piece and then you have a big piece, it'll take different amounts of time to cook. So try to get your chunks pretty well even. And I like to make them a little bit bigger than bite size. Not much bigger though. Okay, here's the meat cut up into the cube-sized chunks. Now, what I do from here is I like to put some soy sauce in a bowl, and you don't want to overdo it, maybe a quarter cup. But you want to be able to cover everything. I also use just a tad of ginger. Now I don't measure this, so I don't really know. I just kind of sprinkle some in there. It's pretty powerful, so don't use too much. Same way with the pepper. You just sprinkle a little bit of it in there. And the salt as well. And then, I forgot to mention, a little bit of olive oil. I don't know why, I think it helps it stick or something like that. But you get your sauce like that, your marinade, and it's not much. And then you just drop your chicken into it. And I did it backwards. The meat should have been in here, but it's okay. And then just, you know, mix it around. So that everything can get a little bit of the marinade on it. And like I say, do this for maybe an hour or two before. You don't want it to be overpowering, but you want that Asian flavor right in there. I like to use the big freezer bags, but I don't have any, so I'm stuck with these smaller ones. But it's pretty much the same idea. Get your soy sauce, about a quarter cup. Pour it in your bag. I don't know if I can trust that to sit. Take about, oh, if you gotta measure, it's probably maybe a half a teaspoon of oil. And I never measure this, just a couple shakes of ginger, a shake or two of pepper, and a pinch of salt. And then drop your meat in there as well. And I'm not sure how much meat I can get in here, but I'll try to get it all. It doesn't have to be dripping in the marinade, just good enough to cover it. So we'll get it in there and we'll spread it around. And then you put this back in the fridge and let it sit for an hour or two. And it marinates real nice. Get a nice Asian flavor involved. So it doesn't take that much. Okay? And that is it. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is get your hibachi rice going. And basically you want 2 cups of jasmine rice. I'll just pour it, not easier. You need to be a little bit more accurate with this one. So try to get it, you know, right. And then you rinse it really well. And don't ask me why. In fact, I said to rinse it for about 2 minutes. So after a 2-minute rinse, go ahead and just dump the rice, 2 cups, into your IP. Now a jasmine rice, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you have 2 cups of rice, you have to have 2 cups of water. Two. Now here's where I deviate from the plan, because I found that the rice tends to stick to the bottom. So I'm going to add an extra 1/4 cup of water in there, so it's 2 1/4 cups of water. They say you don't have to, but I don't believe them. And this is what it looks like. So give it a stir. See, it's clumping up there. You don't want that. Give it a stir. And then just set it in the IP. Close your lid, vent. Now mine, as yours does too, has a rice setting. So I'm just going to hit rice. And it says 12 minutes. And we'll just let it go from there. Okay, it's done with its 12-minute timer, so we're going to let it do a natural pressure release for 10 minutes, and then we'll do the force release. Now is the time I start cooking the chicken and the steaks. And I put them on the griddle, and I have the griddle on high so I can get a nice sear to the steak and chicken, and then I'll back it way down and slowly cook them so that they're tender. Do 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 do. There we go. Just going to drop about a tablespoon of butter on there. Drop the chicken in first. It's got that good seasoning. Just drop it on in. You hear it starting to sizzle. That's what we want. We want to get a crust on her. Same way with the steaks. Just drop them on in there. Nice sizzle.
Don't work? Not like I thought it was going to work. How did you get the battery out?
Pull it. Pull the bottom. Pull it. The whole bottom.
I can't pull it with my arthritis.
Where's your drum? Why don't you want to...
Did I break it? Did I break it? Yeah.
It's freaking broken.
Did I break it? That came out real easy.
I'll flip them around really quick.
No, I don't want to go in it. There we go. Pull the battery out.
Because they're smaller chunks, you don't want to do this for too long.
I ain't paying $20 for that. Ain't worth it. Oh.
Okay, we got our 10 minutes natural pressure release, and I'm going to go ahead and release the rest of it. Always use your wooden spoon so you don't burn yourself. Hopefully it didn't stick. I forgot. Tip back away from you so the steam don't get you, because steam is hot. Here's the rice.
Today?
Doesn't look too bad.
What's the bottom?
Tomorrow. And the best of all, it's not sticking to the bottom too bad. So that extra little bit of water really helps out. Trust me. Now I'm going to take the rice that's in here and transfer it to a bowl.
That smells good.
Go ahead and water for me.
Yeah, I was going to, but then I was like, oh well. I'll open it? No.
That would have hurt good.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop some oil in here. And I'm using stir fry oil. Give it that Asian thing. Because we're going to saute our onions now. So switch that up to hit cancel and go to saute. And get ready to drop the onion in there. This is about a half. It's about a half of an onion. So just go ahead and dump it in there. And you're gonna want to kind of saute them. Probably about 5 minutes or so. Meanwhile, the meat is cooking. Let's take a look. It's on the griddle with the lid. And for some reason we are leaking up a storm. Don't let anybody see that. Alright, let's take a look at the onion. Smells good. But we're still cooking it. We still got to go a little bit longer. While I'm waiting on that, I'll go ahead and get my eggs together. The 1, a 2, and 3. When your onions get soft enough, go ahead and add your vegetables. Everything starts to come together really quick at this point. What we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead, drop all the carrots right in there, turn them around. About half of the corn. And then just stir everything up. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of butter in here too, just because. There we go. There's the butter. And we'll let that cook for a minute. And everything does come together really quick now. So we'll let that cook for a minute. Now I need pause. Let's take a look at our meat while we're here. Whenever you have a lid on there, it gets really hot. So be careful of the steam. It's looking good. Chicken needs to brown up a little bit. The meat looks nice and good. Well, I'm going to cut her way down because I think everything is done. So I'm just going to put it on warm at this point. Set the lid back on it. Again, you have to be careful because it is hot. You can stir up and mix your eggs in there. It's hard to do one-handed. But I'm going to go ahead and dump them in there. And I moved all my vegetables to one side so that the butter and the egg could scramble. So I'm going to keep them on this side and let it scramble up a little bit. Now I got some rice sticking to the bottom of the pan, so it's a pain in the butt, but I'm going to go ahead and just try to work around that. I've still yet to perfect the rice. Maybe a little bit more water, maybe 2.5 cups water. But I'm just basically scrambling up the egg at this point. The butter's there to help it give it flavor in, not to stick. The meat and the chicken is done. We're almost there. At this point, we'll go ahead and dump the rice back in and stir it all around. I have to set this down so I can stir. I don't know if you can see, but I'm going to have to add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce now. 1, and I like soy sauce, so I'm a little liberal with it. 2 and 3. And then this completes the rice. We just want to stir it up so that the soy sauce gets mixed in there really nice. And try to break up any clumps of rice that you see. Nobody likes that. And there it is. It looks pretty good. That's what it should look like. Hopefully it'll taste good. And we are about ready to eat. And here's what the chicken and the steak look like plated up. Look really good, ready to go. Rice is in the pot and on the table, and we're ready to eat.
Hey, that's enough of that.
Okay, we're sitting down and eating. And this is the finished product. Hopefully it turns out well. Enjoy. Oh, and don't forget the yum yum sauce. It's a must-have. Woo!